Hello, and welcome to AMS Talks. I'm your special guest host, Nadia Abboud, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with CEO of AMS, Rick Bacon. Rick, thank you for joining me today.
Great to see you again.
So we're about halfway through the year, and I am just so curious to find out, what has the team been up to?
Wow, how long do you have?
Not that long.
So we entered this year very focused on one thing. We've spent a lot of time developing some really competitive, efficient, groundbreaking technologies, but we've got to get it beyond innovation. Our shareholders want it, the market needs it. So we've been very focused on driving the impact of those technologies, driving them forward. So with the analytics business, we're market leaders, and we're moving way beyond early adopters now into the mass market. And that means that we've been able to develop indirect sales channels very effectively. With AMS Environment, which is the in-situ generation of a wide range of reagents, none of the chemistry of that is novel. It's all been well documented. What we've been able to do is do it very efficiently on site. And now we're moving into the early adopters. So following the very similar model that we followed with analytics, which is identify the early adopters, prove it out, case studies galore, and then move into sort of majority adoption of that technology. And finally, and that's why it's a long list, we have a well-established footprint here in the US, principally municipal, but also some industrial. And that serves a access to market for technologies that aren't born by us or even born here in the States, but in this case in Europe. So we've got two partnerships, very productive, one with Instrumentation Analytica in Spain and another with Biobox, also from Spain, where we're bringing their technologies here in order to, again, treat contaminants of concern and address the needs of the market.
And just even in the North American market itself, this year we've seen a lot of movement from a regulatory perspective. So when you talk about, your innovation for impact, can you speak a little bit more about what that means in the context of, say, hexavalent chromium or lead and copper and corrosion?
Right. So I'm really, really proud of where we've got to with being able to treat hexavalent chromium, and it's quite an extraordinary journey. 5 years ago, ion exchange was the go-to technology for treating hexavalent chromium. Despite all of its significant drawbacks, it was it. And in 5 years, and these are not my words, they're the words of the California state regulator, our technology, RCF, it's a bit of a code word, but is now established as the most applicable technology for solving California's hexavalent chromium problem. And that regulation is coming into force as we speak, and we're already addressing several clients' requirements for treatment technology.
For demonstrations, right? I mean, before going forward, they need to demonstrate. And that's one of the things that you and the team have been doing actively over the past 5 years.
Right. So we recognize the only way people are going to buy this stuff is if they've seen it work. And so we've invested very heavily, without a dollar of public money, I should say, but dollars of our shareholders' money, thank you very much, to prove it out. And so we're now building those demonstration units and in active conversations with a number of utilities to deploy them as part of their implementation program for addressing hexavalent chromium. What's interesting as well, though, is we haven't sort of neglected the analytics side of the business. And the lead and copper rule, again, has come out and it's sort of defined by what was available by way of technology however many years ago. And working with Process Research in Wisconsin, we've been able to deploy real-time monitoring of water before it enters the distribution system and identify when corrosion risk increases and therefore puts lives, health of consumers in the distribution network at risk long before they are actually at risk. And so that provides an early warning system for both the water treatment plant, but also the consumer, that something's changed and they need to drink bottled water, flush the taps or whatever. So it's proactive and goes well beyond what the EPA regulations require, again, because they're locked into an old way of thinking and technological approach.
And it's almost as if their advancements have the ability to future-proof for regulations if they are to become more stringent or if anything were to change. So it's really giving a utility, any type of facility, a peace of mind that they wouldn't have had, with another technology, which is pretty interesting.
Well, I'm sorry, it's a really good point, because the one thing we know about this water industry, you invest in an asset, you're stuck with it for the next 20 years. That's how long this stuff lasts. So if you get it wrong today, or it's right today, you need to be very careful that it's going to be right tomorrow in 10 years' time. And the good thing about our technology is scalable, and we can go beyond, if necessary, the current regulatory limits. And therefore, an investor today in our technology is going to have that peace of mind you refer to, that it's still going to work even when the regulations get tighter, and they're not going to have to throw it away and start again. So yeah, we've got to think beyond if we're going to have real impact, right? Impact today and impact tomorrow.
And with the impact that you're having with the treatment solutions, and that you mentioned the SafeGuard H2O in-situ generation system and some of the other partnerships that you have. I know you're working with biological denitrification, various other analyzers. What I've seen with AMS is this evolution of taking that concept of real-time water quality data and seeing how that integrates with bringing a treatment solution to market. So could you speak a little bit about how you don't, I guess, for lack of a better word, it's the servitization, right, of the solutions you're offering, and also making that available for other treatment systems that your analytical systems are on?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what makes us different. But we are different in the sense that I think we're so focused on the client experience. In other words, I ask myself, and I think my fellow players in this industry should ask themselves, if we were the client, would we buy our product today? And if not, why not?
Is the answer yes?
Mine's yes. I might struggle with some other technologies like ion exchange and RO and stuff like that. And the reason is that, at the end of the day, our clients aren't buying a box or a sensor. Yeah, they're buying, firstly, peace of mind, that this is going to do the job it sets out to. It's not going to have lifetime costs that don't appear in the capital expenditure budget that carry on for the life of the asset, and they're actually going to work. Because if we're supplying them data, they want to know the data is reliable and it's always there. If we're supplying water treatment, they want to know that the water is being treated properly all of the time, not just once a quarter when the regulator comes around and sort of tests the water. And if you start from that point of view of we're providing a service as opposed to a product, then your actual product concept change. You're talking about product as a service. It might be referred to as water as a service or data as a service, but essentially you've got to be on all the time and working as you promised all of the time. And that has been applied in lots of other industries, whether it's elevators or airplane engines or whatever. And I think this industry needs to wake up and, on the vendor side, and see client needs in that context, and then deliver product and service all wrapped together, so that the client actually gets what they want. And I can put my hand up and say, yes, I would buy my product without any doubt whatsoever.
Now, in terms of, we've spoken a little bit about the regulations affecting the municipal marketplace. Your products are not limited to the municipality. So I've seen a little bit of expansion with AMS into the industrial markets this year. Can you speak a little bit about that and what's brought that about?
Serendipity, to be very honest. And that's the short, not sort of flippant answer. Our DNA, for better or worse, came out of the drinking water world, which is great in terms of it's very demanding. You know, your product's got to work and all the time, you know. On the other hand, it's a very narrow market, and it's a difficult market. The industrial market is radically different. And there are some really difficult contaminants to deal with, almost. And we've sort of realized that our technology, yes, it can deal with drinking water, hexavalent, chromium, all that stuff we talked about, arsenic, but we can treat the untreatable. And that's a huge value proposition back to our clients. If they haven't got anywhere to go to clean up their frack waste pits or their sour water pits or microplastics, then that's
or PFAS even, right?
Right. And there, what's interesting is that one of the most interest that's been shown in our ability to destroy PFAS is that the best technology for PFAS is to extract it, collect it. The problem is you've then got a sort of concentrated glob of contaminant. You'll do something with that. And the EPA is really strict on that. So if those extraction technologies could collect it and then we could destroy it on the back end, we don't have to be the solution. We can be part of the solution. And back to the client now gets, they wouldn't buy on exchange on its own because of the problem. Marry it with us, and you now have a total solution to a horrible problem. So we don't only need to think about we're the only game in town. We need to think about which technologies we can work with to address difficult problems like PFAS and others.
Especially when you're thinking about the interest of public health, environmental health, there's less of a desire to be competitive and more of a desire to be collaborative, right? So that's a really interesting perspective. Now, I know some of the AMS team is going to be making their way to Anaheim for the American Water Works Association annual conference. This year, viewers can find you and the team in the Innovation Hub. And I believe you're participating in some presentations. Anything that you could share and give us an inside peek?
Yeah, so we've been asked to participate in a forum on how does regulation-driven innovation in this industry.
Oh, well, you're going to have a lot to say about that. Do they?
May find a word or two to say, and the challenges of innovation. And I'm sort of, because we've been doing this for a little while, and we've got, as I say, to now where we've got to taking our innovations out where they can have an impact. Hopefully I've got something helpful to share with all those people who are way back on this journey and trying to make it through the challenges of being successful in a very challenging water industry.
Well, I know it's been quite a busy year for you and the AMS team, and it's only halfway through. And knowing you and what the team produces, we ain't seen anything yet, right? So I wish
wait, yeah.
wait. So we'll have to do a catch up at the end of the year and just roll our eyes at everything that's been achieved. But I wish you and the team a successful venture at AWWA, and for all of our viewers looking for not just an innovative solution, but a solution to bring impact, help you drive down your energy costs, and we look at reducing your carbon footprint. Stop by the AMS booth at the Innovation Hub, and they'll look forward to seeing you in Anaheim. Rick, thank you for your time today.
Thanks so much. Take care.